Welcome to Let's Talk Boundaries. Today I am joined by the incredible LaShana West, a distinguished business therapist and leadership coach with over 20 years of expertise in mental health and professional development. LaShana knows that healing while building is the key to lasting success. Together, we'll explore how reframing your past and shifting your mindset can unlock new levels of growth in life and business. Get ready for a conversation that will challenge your perspectives and spark transformation. Well, hello, welcome back to Let's Talk Boundaries. This is Pamela Byrd, your boundaries coach, and I want to introduce you to a guest that is absolutely phenomenal. I met her at an event at a place that she has that is phenomenal, and we were going to meet at this location for content creators, but we didn't get a chance to do it, but that's okay because I still want you to meet her. And so I'm going to introduce you to Miss LaShana West. So let me go ahead and read some things about her, because y'all don't know what y'all missing. Y'all don't know Miss LaShana. So, another thing, we were going to meet, and this is another reason why we were supposed to meet, but we had to reschedule. She had to reschedule because guess what? She got called out of town to go to Jamaica, all expense paid trip. And this wasn't leisure, y'all. This was business. That's what I'm talking about. This is a consummate leader. So let me just kind of give you some information about Miss LaShana. Just say, hey, LaShana.
Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to jump into this conversation.
Yes, this is going to be so real. I can't wait because we connected in a way that is so powerful. And she teaches me so much and she doesn't even realize. But let me get to this. Miss LaShana West is a business therapist and leadership mindset coach. Keep in mind that mindset, because we're going to be talking about mindset. And LaShana West is a distinguished business therapist and leadership coach with over 20 years of expertise in mental health and professional development, specializing in serving, dynamic. Are you a dynamic entrepreneur? I know I am. Amen. Dynamic entrepreneurs, CEOs, and industry leaders. LaShana has a profound understanding of both personal growth and business strategy, making her an invaluable asset to high-achieving professionals. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, Miss LaShana, because there are many people that strive to be high-achieving professionals in whichever walk of life they're in. And our topic today is what gets in the way of healing while building, because I know that is your brand, that is who you are. And I even got the t-shirt, Healing While Building. Yes. And you have a book that you are writing right now called Healing While Building. And I'm going to let you talk about that. But first, tell me a little bit about how you came up with Healing While Building.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you for having me. I'm super excited. I always love connecting with thought leaders and those who are serving in their area of expertise. So again, I'm a business therapist and mindset coach. And most people don't know this, but I'm actually a therapist in real life. So I have a master's in clinical counseling. I did all the things from serving in foster care, residential, at-risk youth, families, you name it. And about 5 years ago, I left corporate, retired myself from corporate in that formal way. And now I'm helping others heal while they build. So I created Healing While Building. As I was serving and coaching, I realized that every single client, I call them accountability partners in crime, because my other brand is called Accountability on Demand. But every accountability partner in crime that I was supporting was working and healing. Serving and healing while building. And so fast forward, my book is in pursuit. It's called Healing While Building, How to Break Through the Mindset Blocks, Build Clarity, and Enhance Your Leadership Without Shrinking. That came to be because I wanted to put my expertise in a tangible resource, just in case I wasn't speaking on stages or I wasn't coaching you. That doesn't mean you still can't learn vicariously through the work that I'm doing. So super excited. We actually have a summit coming up October 18th and 19th. This is our third one. It is at my content space at Pop Up and Create. And it's just a safe haven for people who leverages their resiliency story, not their trauma story, but their resiliency story. And that framework is in my book as well.
Well, I love that. Tell me a little bit about how resiliency comes into being versus trauma.
Yeah, it's a reframe. We all have experienced drug, sex, and rock and roll is what I call it. That's supposed to be a joke. Take it how you want. You will resort to drug, sex, and rock and roll if you take the victim mentality of what happened for you, not to you. And so to reframe that, this happened for me. This is how it made me feel. This is what I did about it. And this is how I'm thriving. That's literally the framework to your resiliency story. And I think once we come at it from a point of resiliency versus trauma, not saying that none of that rocky stuff happened, but that's the key thing. It happened. You're still here. You're still showing up. You're still thriving. No, things are not perfect because perfection is not reality, but you got to give yourself credit for waking up every single day saying, I'm going to do this thing called life again, even though you might feel indifferent. So that's literally the art of resiliency.
I love about the part about mindset, because you just did a reframing of the mindset or a shift in the way that you see it. It's all about perspective. It's about how we see ourselves, how we see our experiences, and how we see ourselves utilizing those experiences to be able to be a blessing to someone else, to get out there. And so when you think about the things that are stopping people, the boundaries, what are the boundaries that people aren't setting that are allowing them or causing them to not grow, not to build while they're healing?
Yeah. So the number one boundary is serving others before you serve yourself. So if I'm not feeling well and I'm burned out and someone says, hey, LaShana, I need you to come speak on my podcast. Hey, LaShana, I need you to come speak to my community. Hey, LaShana, can you help me? I can either say, oh, yes, let me just push all my stuff to the side and I'm showing up peachy keen, which then literally I'm leading while bleeding.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
And what that means is I'm showing up like everything's great, serving. And as soon as I turn off that camera, as soon as I turn off that phone call, that servitude, I'm like burned out, broken, overwhelmed, and not even being able to thrive, but I'm putting on a fake facade like everything's okay. That's the number one boundary crossing. Then the next boundary crossing is, at the end of the day, not being honest about who we truly want to become and who we truly are, but faking it until we make it to appease others. And that could come off in many ways. It could come off in picking up shifts at work, even though you don't have capacity or you don't want to, but you don't want to upset your supervisor or your team. It could also come off in parenting, where you've been working on, a discipline plan with your child, and then grandma comes over and just throws it out the window and you don't say anything. But then you start to build that resentment, and it causes friction with you and your partner because their parent is in the way, but you're not saying anything until it gets up here, and then you just you snap. You snap into crisis mode, right?
Yeah.
And it can be as little as being at a restaurant and your server is not listening and they're not bringing you what you need, and you just eat your food without the condiment that you want because you don't want to seem too naggy or too needy. It's little as that.
Now, I know speaking of that, a lot of people don't like to complain about their food because they're afraid what happens when it comes back. So you're not talking about that. You're talking about just even the condiments, the smallest thing. But even that, there's a way that you can ask for a change in your food without being nasty,
Correct. And let's just say you get your food, then you share how you're feeling. Because I get it. I'm like, I'm not finna complain about this. I don't know if they're doing my food. Okay. Let them bring it out and then share it. The biggest thing is you not sharing how you truly feel because you're worried about the end result of someone else.
Yes.
Something else.
Yeah, there's a form of fear in there. And one of the things I always say to my clients is identify what that fear is, because is it real? False evidence appearing real. Is it real? But a lot of times it's the way that people handle things, because there's such things as healthy boundaries and unhealthy boundaries. A lot of people will say, no, I set boundaries, but are they healthy ones? Tell me a little bit what you see as a difference between a healthy boundary and an unhealthy boundary.
Yeah, so unhealthy boundaries when you're being super rigid, super helicopter parent, super extreme versus a healthy balance, which I call harmony, where your needs are being met and you hold the other person, place, or thing accountable for what you want and need. If it is like extreme to where, okay, this happened in corporate, so I just can't work at all. I'm going to go and it's almost letting someone puppet you as a puppeteer and dictate your actions because of the fear, which I have a framework for that: fuss, fear of failure, fear of the unknown, or fear of success. Because of those fears, it's dictating your behavior. And so this is the beauty of it, though. You don't know how your boundary is going to impact until you set it.
That's right.
Then you'll know, is it too rigid? Is it too loose? Is it right where it needs to be? But being open to a working document so it can be changed if necessary.
I always look at the difference between an internal boundary and an external boundary, because most people don't understand that before you set that external boundary, it's important to set the internal one. And that internal one is a decision, and it's based on your mindset. So give me an example of an internal boundary that would be set that would then come out to be an external boundary based on the decision that you made for the internal one.
Yeah, so I think of dating when you ask that question. Maybe back in the day, you would date and you weren't really dating with intention, and you would kind of let people handle you however they wanted, whether it was communication, whether it was showing up late, or whether it was them being the person that they shared that they wanted to be. So an internal boundary is you having a vision for yourself. Who are you becoming? Who's in alignment with what that is, whether you're a Christian and you want someone who goes to church, or whether you don't smoke cigarettes and you won't date anyone who smokes cigarettes. Then you get on the dating site and you see this fine person and they literally say they smoke on the regular, and you still swipe to the right. How do I know? Because I'm on dating apps. Okay, no shade. You swipe to the right and cross that boundary that you set for yourself, that you said was not in alignment, because maybe I can change them, or maybe they won't smoke around me, or maybe I can deal with the stinky cigarette even though I don't want to. You are literally letting your boundaries go out the window because you feel like this person who is attractive or that you like will become the person you want them to be, which is not realistic. And so you end up going down this slippery slope. And what I say is, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So we start to do that with dating, then we start to do that with parenting, then we start to do that in business, at work. And then here we are victimizing and in victim mode. Nothing ever works out for me. I never can get what I want. Well, the reason is because you don't decide that you deserve what you want.
That brings up a really good...
I literally went on a tangent.
No. This is good, because I'm going on another one. And my ex-husband, when I first met him, I used to work with him. And this is on this point, so I just wanted to share it. As he called me on a telephone to kind of talk to me, and he said, well, what are you looking for? And honestly, I couldn't give him an answer because I didn't know what I was looking for. And it's because I didn't know what I was looking for that I settled for what he brought to the table. And he is an ex-husband. So after that, and a lot of times, ladies, you have to make sure that, I know we're going on dating now, but this is key, because if you want someone that's right for you, then you got to identify what it is that you want, and don't vacillate back and forth. And that word that you said, LaShana, was maybe. Maybe, baby, is not in the picture. Right. It cannot be a maybe. It has to be a definite. This is what I want. This is what I don't want. I remember I used to date a guy who smoked cigarettes when I met him, and he really wanted to date me. I said, you smoke? Guess what? He stopped smoking the next day. When you really want something, you will do it. You will get it.
You know what? That reminds me of teaching people how to treat you. You didn't say, oh, I'm going to change him. You stated your expectation, and he had adhered to it. It's a difference. He
had to meet me at my level. Too many women are trying to get to a man's level, which is a lot of times lower, instead of bringing a man up to their level, or finding a man that's at their level that can take them even higher. But that comes with boundaries, LaShana. And I like that you said that, because a lot of women like you said, if it starts there, it's going to go in the job, it's going to go in, different things. I have to say that it's already been those places. If you
Yeah.
had the right, if you had the mind to allow this person to make you negotiate you,
Basically.
then most chances are you're negotiating in other areas as well. So when we talk about, that mindset, what's the one thing, and boundaries, what's the main thing that your clients, that they struggle with, that you have a challenge with in getting them to see it? And I say that because there's something you said to me the other day, and you asked me a question or something I had done, and I said, yeah. And you said, no, you don't. No, you haven't. I mean, you just, and I was like, no. Yeah, you're right. I'm guilty. So what's that one thing that you see as the biggest challenge when you say things to people and they just aren't doing what you say?
Yeah, it's interesting, and I see you remembered that because that is something that hit home. And one thing that I'm very blessed with is the power and the gift of intuition. And I'm courageous and obedient enough to articulate it to who I'm talking to. I'm not afraid of, if I say that, she's going to think I'm mean, or if I say that, she's going to think I'm rude. That's not my intent. And so I'm just obedient to delivering it, right? So number one is showing up consistently on social media. And a lot of people are in their head, overthinking, overanalyzing, and thinking about, I don't have my lashes on, or I stutter, or I have a gap, or only 3 people showed up. Why should I do this? All of these reasons why. And what I tell them is this: someone is out there looking for you. And if you're not showing up consistently, they won't be able to find you. But when they do, they're going to be able to go down a rabbit hole of your expertise and your excellence because you've been showing up consistently, right? And so I knew that 90% of the people don't. The only reason why I do is because I'm self-diagnosed ADHD. And I love it so much to where it's literally infused organically in my day and in what I do, right? And not saying I'm better than anyone else. That's just one of my quirks. And so the showing up consistently, but even when they show up consistently, helping them to build clarity and confidence in what they're showing up about. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't say I have a struggle with it, but it's more so this is the thing I help people with the most. And because I'm a business therapist, I know when it's imposter syndrome. I know when it's them lacking confidence or them worried about their cousin seeing it and they don't want their family to know what they're doing. I help them get to the root cause of why they're not showing up so they can address that versus the surface issue.
That's good.
So it's like the best of both worlds with mental health, mindset, and making money.
That is. Tell me a little bit about your space, your content creation space.
Yeah. So Pop Up and Create, literally, we celebrate our 3-year anniversary, which I cannot even imagine, in August. It is a multi-purpose content creation studio for CEOs, leaders, creatives, entrepreneurs to literally have a safe space to create, connect, network, and ultimately get out of their own way. Mm-hmm. When you walk into the space, and you've been there several times, the colors, the glitter, the imagery, the greenery, like right now I'm in my home office. And if I turn the camera around, you'll be like, whoa, are you at Pop Up and Create? It's just my personality of color and energy. And so I've infused that into my space. And the reason why I created Pop Up and Create, hence the name, is because I didn't want any excuses on why people don't create. And I got tired of asking people to sit at their table. Mm-hmm. So I made my own. And this has afforded me to provide sponsorships to people, meet them where they are with their budget, instead of just having this hefty price up there and saying, hey, if you can't pay this, you can't come. No, right. I don't want any excuses. So it's been magical. I did not know it was going to turn out to be what it was. I just was wanting to serve my clients and give them safe space to create. And it's literally flourished to so much more.
The place is absolutely beautiful. Mm-hmm. And if there are any people that are out there that want to create content and just put yourself in an environment that's very colorful and lively and engaging. Every mm-hmm. time I come to Pop Up and Create, where you have people there, it's exciting. And it's addictive kind of. You want to create. You want to walk in one of these rooms and say, hey, let's turn on the camera. Let's do this. And it gives you boldness. It gives you courage to do it because everyone, it's a safe space. So I would say if there's anyone in the Atlanta area, you're in Marietta, correct?
Yes.
If you're anywhere in Atlanta, I come over from Fayetteville. So, but people like to be at a certain distance, but in Marietta.
I live in College Park.
Yeah. I know. When you said that, I was like, oh, wow, you're so close to me. But that's okay. We meet where we are. And it's a beautiful space. If you're in the area and you're looking for a place to do some content creation, this is the place to go, pop up and create. And I'll be putting the information here for you to be able to come and take a look, come and experience it. You do something on Mondays, don't you?
Yes. Momentum Mondays is free content creation, free co-working from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. So all you do is sign up on our email list and you literally get to come in, have your props, have your podcast mic, whatever it is, use the content rooms, use the open space area. And that has been, I would call it a hidden gem and a secret. It's not like really, really packed right now. So it's the best time to get plugged in.
Mm-hmm. And also event space, because I'll be doing an event right there at Pop Up and Create called Toxic Interference on July 19th. That's a Saturday. And you definitely, this is a great chance to see it, but don't wait until July 19th. That's the middle of the summer. Come on out, especially on Mondays where you get a chance to come and take a tour, experience Pop Up and Create, and experience LaShana, because she is quite an experience. One thing, like I said, one thing that I love about LaShana is she is a leader. She is.
Thank you.
You are welcome. It's evident in the way that she helps people. So if you need someone to help you to get that different mindset, so let's say someone doesn't recognize what's holding them back. Mm-hmm. How do you help them with that?
Yeah. So 50% of the people that I meet don't know what's holding them back. And by me asking simple questions helps me to get them to the root cause of it for starters, right? Mm-hmm. When we say we don't know, we truly do know, but we're afraid to say it. So with me and my demeanor, my down-to-earth approach and my strategic therapeutic approach, I help them to be honest and say it. And then we just kind of peel back the layers from there. And believe it or not, I know you know the answer. So pop quiz, what do you think usually is the root cause of people's mindset blocks or the mental health issues?
Fear.
Okay. And where do you think that usually starts?
From childhood.
Bingo.
Mm-hmm.
Most times it's childhood, whether you've been bullied in the past, whether you grew up in a dysfunctional home, or whether you really just didn't feel like you had a voice and you were kind of a fly on the wall. Mm-hmm. That starts there. And as we grow up into young adults and older adults, if it's not addressed, we literally just carry that bag with us. But we got to start unpacking that bag, throwing out what doesn't need to be there, and putting in new items to create a new. And so once you're able to be aware of where the root of that is, most times childhood, not all the time, that's when you could really address the root issue versus the surface issue and start getting some movement.
Okay, I'm about to give you an example.
Sure.
Between you and me, because this was my immediate reaction to what you said to me, simply because of my own childhood traumas. But I have done the work in the healing in my building to be able to identify what it was. And let me tell you what it was. When you said to me, no, you're not doing it, you're not showing up, I immediately went back to, I was in trouble. And the reason I went back to, that was a trigger for me, because when I was growing up in a toxic, dysfunctional relationship at home, I was always in trouble. Yeah. And the one thing that I think adults need to understand now is that no matter what happened to you in the past, you're not in trouble anymore. When you're in trouble, you tend to back up, you tend to acquiesce, you tend to go hide. And so I can bet that a lot of the people that you are straightforward with, they're dealing with that trigger from their childhood, and then they don't come back, they don't show up, they're not accountable. So when I realized that was a trigger for me, I remembered that no, I'm building. And if I'm building, there's someone that had the courage and the honesty to tell me the truth, and they're not yelling at me. I'm not going to get a whooping. This is someone here that's here to support me and help me to build. Yeah. So that's an example of healing while building, recognizing what trigger came up in talking to you, and the work that I had already done, step back and say, you know what, this is a good thing for me. And you know what, I'm going to be obedient, and because she told me what to do, and I got to make sure I do it. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So first of all, thank you for sharing and being honest about that situation that occurred. The difference is being in trouble in a dysfunctional upbringing, or a parent that maybe didn't have the skills, versus someone who is courageous enough to care about you, to even say what they're thinking versus just minimizing it and dismissing it. That's accountability versus adverse behavior, right? And because you've been doing your healing work, you know the difference, and that didn't make you say, oh, screw her, she's rude, she's too much for me, I'm not coming back. Because we all have decisions. I even had a decision to say X, Y, Z or nothing. But what God has given me, I have been obedient so much to where I would be remiss had I not said, no, you're not, because my gut told me that you weren't. And what I love about entrepreneurship and self-development, every single day we get to grow. When you came to the space that day with your husband, you didn't know we were going to have that dynamic. You just thought you were going to come and chat, but something triggered something in you to where you were able to go home, do self-reflection because you've been doing your work through it, and even identify that this was healthy versus unhealthy. Right? What we're talking about right now is real life stuff. And it's bigger than showing up. It's about you knowing that you belong in this atmosphere in the marketplace, so more people can work on their boundaries in a healthy manner with an expert who cares, versus finding their way on YouTube, TikTok, or Google University to get their needs met. Why do that when we have Pamela Byrd right in front of us?
Amen. Amen. Let's talk about investment versus cost. Because a lot of people do that. They go to wherever they can to try to get snippets of information and hope that it changes them. But if they don't have someone they're working with professionally and personally with them one-on-one, they're never going to get the type of information they need in order to heal and build. So talk a little bit about that mindset as it relates to investment versus cost.
Sure. So that's a money mindset block. I actually had one initially when I got into entrepreneurship. I was in corporate making like 60, 70 a year. And I really, really knew that there was more for me in life. And so when I first got exposed to entrepreneurship, I'm going to these conferences, I'm going to these coaching things, and they're like, hey, I want you to pay me $5K for this. I want you to pay me $10K for this. And I was like, I'm not going to pay you a car. I'm not going to give you my XYZ. And the reason why that money mindset block was there is because fear. I didn't know if I was going to be able to get the results that they were promising. I never had invested in myself at that level before. And what stood out for me is I was offered an opportunity to work with a coach for, I think it was $9,000, something like that. I'm like, I'm not going to pay a car. Back then I was a hater, honestly. And the reason why I say I was a hater is because I'm seeing them within this big conference doing all the things, and they're saying, pay me this. And I'm like, I'm not going to be one of these silly people to pay. Well, guess what? I didn't pay. I went back the next year, and everybody who was sitting in the chairs with me were on stage celebrating their 6-figure year. Okay? I tell this story because that was my aha moment that no, I may not have ever paid $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $12,000 before, but I'm also doing something different that I've never done before. I've been in corporate my whole life, got the degree, got the title, got the role, but I still wasn't happy. I had to do something different. And that year I did invest in myself. I was then on stage celebrating my 6-figure year. And now I actually do the same type of work that the person I learned from did but in my own way. I specialize in mindset and resiliency, but I ultimately teach people how to get out of their own way and build a coaching program so they can monetize their gifts. I would have still been on Google University and YouTube Institute trying to figure it out. But instead I paid someone who already hit their head, already bumped their, already did the mistake. So when you invest in yourself, you're paying someone to fast track your success.
Mm-hmm.
You're already successful. You're going to be successful. But the question is, do you want to do it effectively with less mistakes? Because it's not going to be no mistakes. There's always going to be learning. But do you want the support? And if the answer is yes, then you have to reframe it from cost to investment. And lastly, what I want to share is money is energy. We're going to be able to make it over and over and over again. But knowledge is one thing that no one can take from you. You pay once, but you have the knowledge forever.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you continue to do the work, because this was 6 years ago, I've invested triple, quadruple more than what I'm even talking about within the past 4 years with different opportunities. It's really about you knowing that you're worthy enough of the investment. We projected like I'm paying that person. No, you're investing in yourself through that medium, through that obedience, through that people, place, or thing. Are you worthy of it is the question, and most people don't feel that they are, so they don't do it.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And let me take it from a biblical perspective, what you just said.
Yeah.
This is really about mindset. One of the things that I've been working with is the whole idea of tithing. And I was listening to church the other day, and I've heard it over and over again when they're giving tithes and offering, but for some reason it just hit me this time. And I went into my prayer closet and I started to pray about it, and I started to read about it. And I started to look up tithing. And what I realized from tithing is tithing doesn't mean you're giving your money to a church or whomever you choose to give your tithe to. Tithing means that you are being obedient. And when you think of the difference between giving your money to somebody and being obedient, that's a total different mindset. Yeah. So are you just giving money to someone that's buying a car and taking your money, not realizing what you're going to get out of it, the benefit for you? Or are you looking at as you being obedient to the cause and to who you are, to your self-worth? Because to your point, you're already successful, but if nobody knows about it, then are you being obedient and investing in yourself to make sure that people start to understand this is your expertise, this is who you are? LaShana, there are tons of people out there doing what I do.
Yeah.
And probably doing what you do. And so my self-sabotage could be, well, why? And the enemy has said it many times to me. Why would somebody listen to you instead of listening to those people? I said, get thee behind me, because I know what I bring to the table. I bring me to the table. And if they don't want that, then they're not for me. Then they can go somewhere else. But I really wanted to talk about that mindset perspective as it relates to investment, because as you said, people don't think they're worthy of investment. Are you worthy of investment? You who watching this right now, are you worthy of investment and investing yourself to be who you want to be and to do what you need to do, to be what you're placed here on this earth to do? LaShana's doing what she's placed on this earth to do. And let me just say, whether you pay her or not, whether you invest in yourself or not, her livelihood is not based on you. She knows she's doing it. She's going to be blessed for what she's doing. Okay, go ahead. I'll leave it go.
Yeah. And this is the thing, Pamela. When we are our full authentic selves, we're able to attract who's in alignment and repel those who are not. Yeah. So if someone's shaky about paying, it's not even about you. It's not about me. It's about them. What we're going to do is use the skills, maybe address the objection, get more information on why, but it's never coercion. It's never instead of this amount, just pay this amount. It's, hey, you know what? Seems like you're not ready right now. I'm here, because we're going to be consistent no matter what. And that's why that consistency is important, because when they're ready, you will be top of mind. Absolutely. If you're not consistent when they're ready, they're going to go somewhere else because they can't find you.
Got it. I got it. I got you there. Duly noted.
Yeah. And so at the end of the day, investing in self is literally the catalyst for breakthrough of so much more. And I get it, whether it's $100, $400, $1,000, or $5,000. There's programs, guys, that are $40,000 and $50,000. And I'm not saying you need to do it, but the question is, if you stay where you are within the next 6 months to a year, if you stay where you are, will you become the person that you know you're destined to become? Yes or no? There's not a, oh, well, no, it's yes or no.
And that's a boundary, LaShana.
Yep.
It's a decision. Mm-hmm. That's an internal boundary. And then what you do with that, the action that you take will determine your external boundary. Because remember, our boundaries are about protecting us and growing us. Mm-hmm. And if we're not setting those internal boundaries, then the external boundaries will not follow that are healthy. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the building. We talked about the healing aspect and what's standing in the way of that. What is it that you do with helping people to build?
So the healing is the internal work, the internal boundaries, the getting to the root cause of what's holding them back. Building is the clarity and the confidence to show up and increase their cash flow. So the building could be you becoming a coach. It could be someone putting their servitude into events. It's that momentum so they can actually get the monetary value. Mm-hmm. So it's more so like 2 steps. Healing is the mindset and the confidence and the mastery. The building is the clarity and what I call catapulting into the cash flow. And it looks different for everybody. Like one accountability partner I'm working with right now, she's starting to show up more on social, go live, and she literally already got 2 to 3 opportunities from one IG live that she did that I prompted her to do last week. Someone wants to do a Zoom call with their community, and then there's someone else who's, booking a complimentary call. That didn't happen. It can't happen if I don't have an opportunity to see who you truly are. And that's why I love IG Live. Like I've closed $5,000 and $10,000 clients from just going live. They never knew me before. I didn't build any know, like, and trust. They seen who I was in that moment and something that I said clicked in their brain and they said, I'm ready.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. That's good. And one of the things about, you really want to follow LaShana on IG. You really want to follow her. Because there's a video I watched and I took it wholeheartedly and it reminded me of you. And that was about showing up. What was that word she said? Kind of like not being weird, but being weird. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are afraid of being weird or being seen like, who does she think she is, right? Mm-hmm. That right there, I thought about you because you show up, and whether anybody likes it or not, it doesn't matter because you were showing up and you're getting paid for showing up. And so I said, you know what? At that point, what you said about some people don't want their parents to know or families to know. Yep. I immediately, as soon as I saw that and I start watching you, I said, you know what? I'm going to show, because this is something that I always said growing up, because for some reason I went to 13 different schools, LaShana, by the time I graduated high school. And every time I went somewhere, there was always somebody that didn't like me, that bullied me or whatever. And I just got to the point where I got older and started healing. And I said, you know what? If you don't like me, then I'm going to give you a reason not to like me. I just said, I'm going to give you a reason. So now when I have trollers that are on my Facebook, I make sure I give them a reason. And you know what happens? I talk to people and they say, I am so proud of you. I see you doing your thing and you're making an impact. You're teaching me how to set boundaries. So my trollers are out there and they're learning because of me being visible, me not worrying about what people think about me. Mm-hmm. But you can only do that if you're not worried about what you think of you. Oh,
that's good right there.
You know
what? Because I was bullied in the past too. I have a resiliency story that I won't share right now. Get the book and you'll learn what it is. But I was bullied in the past too. And guess what? A lot of those bullies either are in my inbox trying to date me or learn about business from me. So I don't hold grudges because kids will be kids. And now I have empathy. If they were acting in that way, what was going on at home? what was going on in their mind for them to resort to that kind of behavior. More than likely nothing good. And I just let God take care of it instead of me holding grudges and being resentful, because having that in my heart doesn't help me to heal and thrive and help others.
Right.
So I totally get you about the whole bully situation. And I think there needs to be more research about that, because hurt people. And then we grow up and some people decide to continue that behavior and some people decide not to. My question is, what is that middle ground on the decision making, which in my opinion, the decision to heal?
That's what I was going to say. It's the healing. It's the healing.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people that are dealing with the residual effects of their childhood traumas and can't even identify them. And that's what I talk about in my new book that I'll be talking about at my event at Pop Up and Create on July 19th at any rate.
So make sure y'all click the link below and register.
Yes. Register. It's going to be awesome. Well, LaShana, it has been amazing talking to you. Is there anything lastly that you would like to share with our audience, our guests, before we leave?
Yeah, I would like to just share, this has been such a heartfelt conversation. And if you're like, you know what, I need some one-on-one support in regards to my mindset so I can start to set boundaries with confidence, you can always book a one-on-one clarity call with me, complimentary. Just DM the word breakthrough on Instagram at LaShana West here on the screen. It's a free call. And on those free calls, Pamela, people literally leave with laser focused clarity and support to where they're then more courageous to do the next step of what they need to do.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing that. And guests, as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Let's Talk Boundaries podcast, because wouldn't it be a shame if you didn't get a chance to hear LaShana today because you weren't sharing, you weren't subscribing, and you weren't liking. Let me tell you something. You've got to go to IG and you've got to see. And if you need an example of what it looks like to be a leader, to really get out there and do your thing, then you need to go see LaShana wherever she is. All right. So you're welcome. Thank you, LaShana, for being here. And as always, this is Pamela Byrd, your boundaries coach. And let's talk boundaries, shall we?
Let's talk.